Oh, it's happening and it's not a joke. News from Westminster is shaking the palace walls like thunder in a teacup. The British Parliament, yes, the actual lawmakers are reportedly getting ready to do what the royal family itself won't. Take away Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's royal titles. After years of Netflix deals, royal tell-all books, and red carpet rebellion, the patience of Britain's leaders has officially run out. The whispers have turned into paperwork. The documents are being written, and this time it's not gossip. It's government. If this move works, Harry and Meghan could lose everything. Their titles, their official status, and that last connection tying them to the crown. Now, grab your tea, because this story isn't just about titles. It's about revenge, power, and one royal heir who's finally done playing nice. Let's start with where this storm really began. In London's Parliament buildings, something big is cooking behind those stone walls. Sources close to Westminster say that lawmakers tired of the never-ending Harry and Meghan circus have quietly started writing a letters patent reform bill. Think of it as a royal reset button. This single law could wipe out every controversial title in one clean sweep. Prince Andrew, the York sisters, and yes, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It's the kind of move Britain hasn't seen since the abdication crisis of 1936 when a king gave up his throne for love. Except this time, it's not about romance. It's about respect. For years, the royal family has tried to keep a straight face while Harry and Meghan made money off royal status abroad. But now, Parliament's patience has broken. The message is clear. If you make fun of the institution, you don't get to profit from it. Now, here's where things get deliciously royal. While the press talks about Parliament, palace insiders whisper that this entire movement has Prince William's fingerprints all over it. For months, William has been quietly watching his brother's every move. The tell-all interviews, the Netflix confessions, the endless headlines dragging their family through the mud. And finally, the future king said what everyone inside the palace was thinking. Enough is enough. People close to him describe a man who's calm on the outside, but furious beneath the crown. William reportedly believes the royal family cannot move forward while Harry and Meghan still hold titles. And he's not alone. Senior advisors have supposedly rallied behind him, saying the royal family must cut off the rot to save the roots. Let's be real. William's not just reacting, he's strategizing. He's had it with his father's soft approach. Sources say he's been pushing King Charles to take a tougher stance for months. But when Charles hesitated, William started building quiet alliances and Parliament started listening. Because when William's patience runs out, he doesn't yell, he acts. And this action might finally end the Harry and Meghan saga once and for all. So how does a parliament take on the palace? With paperwork and precision. This isn't just talk. Insiders say lawyers are writing what's being called a one-bill solution. A royal reform law powerful enough to strip titles and reset royal ranks in one sweep. It's being described in Westminster as a constitutional spring cleaning. The plan? End every unsolved title scandal. Prince Andrew's disgrace, the York sisters' lingering status, and Harry and Meghan's ongoing monetization of royal privilege. All of it handled in one historic stroke of the pen. And here's the kicker. This isn't unprecedented. Back in 1917, King George V created the letters patent, defining who could be called prince or princess. That law is still active today. But according to sources, Parliament is preparing to rewrite it for the modern era. One where titles must be earned through service, not media deals. Imagine that the same document that gave Archie and Lilibet the right to be called prince and princess could now be rewritten to take it away. Now let's talk about the royal elephant in the room, King Charles. While Parliament sharpens its pens and William sharpens his resolve, the king is hesitating. People inside Buckingham describe Charles as torn between love and legacy. On one hand, he's a father who still loves his son. On the other, he's a monarch staring down a national embarrassment. Supposedly, assistants have begged him to act, to make a decision before Parliament does it for him. But the king worries about backlash, especially from America. One insider says he's terrified of seeing headlines that scream, "King punishes the Black Duchess." Meanwhile, William has had enough of his father's caution. He's done watching the crown bend to fear. To him, Hesitation is weakness, and weakness is how empires fall. When Charles wavers, William acts. Palace whispers say he's been holding quiet meetings with sympathetic members of parliament. The kind who still believe the royal family has a duty to stand for something. And just like that, the heir became the hammer, doing what the king won't to save what the king can't. Behind the castle gates, there's no shouting, no confrontation, just a cold silence. Because in royal life, silence is the argument. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Meghan Markle is reportedly in full panic mode. Her entire empire, the podcasts, the documentaries, the luxury contracts, all revolve around one glittering word, Duchess. And now that word is on the chopping block. Sources close to Parliament say Meghan's use of her royal title for business has become a symbol of everything wrong with the modern royal family. Her brand is no longer a title, it's a trademark. It's been claimed that Meghan even legally changed her last name to Duchess of Sussex in certain documents, making the brand even stronger. That move raised eyebrows in both Westminster and Buckingham. One insider joked, she turned royalty into retail, but the palace isn't laughing. William's legal team is said to be working overtime, quietly coordinating with parliamentary lawyers to ensure that if the bill passes, Meghan's ability to use the Duchess title commercially will disappear overnight. And you can imagine how that news landed in Montecito. Sources say Meghan has already called emergency PR meetings, prepared damage control campaigns, and even rewritten parts of her upcoming business plans to remove any direct reference to royal status. It's not just a financial hit, it's an identity crisis. For years, Meghan built herself as the Duchess who walked away. But what happens when the crown she walked away from finally walks away from her? And then there's Harry, the man who traded royal duty for Hollywood dreams, now supposedly realizing that without his title, he's just another celebrity trying to sell a story. Insiders say he's been calling the palace repeatedly trying to reach his father. Some describe his tone as desperate, others as pleading. He's reportedly told friends that losing the prince title would destroy everything. The speaking tours, the book deals, the influence. But here's the kicker. William isn't budging. In fact, people close to the heir say he's ice cold about it. He made his choice, William supposedly told a senior assistant. Now he has to live with it. That single line says everything. To William, Harry isn't a brother anymore. He's a liability. And to the British establishment, he's the symbol of a system that lost control. Behind closed doors, Charles is said to be torn apart. A king who can't be a father and a father who can't be a king. But that sympathy doesn't stretch far beyond the palace gates. In Parliament, they see Harry as exhibitor in their case for reform. A prince who turned privilege into profit and left the crown looking like a prop. And that's where the emotional center of this story sits. Not in money, not in titles, but in identity. Harry and Meghan built an empire around being royals who rejected royalty. Now the very system they rejected is rejecting them right back. Now the scandal turns personal because it's no longer just about Harry and Meghan. It's about their children, Archie and Lilibet, the tiny royals who've spent more time under California sunshine than British rain, are suddenly at the center of a constitutional firestorm. Meghan insists their royal birthright is sacred, that her children deserve their titles. But Parliament doesn't see it that way. Lawmakers are reportedly using King George V's 1917 letters patent, the same law that defined who can be called prince or princess, to argue that royal status applies only to those living and serving in the UK. One insider summed it up brutally. No crown for California kids, and that line has set the internet ablaze. If this reform passes, Archie and Lilibet would be the first modern royal children stripped of their titles. For Meghan, that's not just legal, it's emotional. Her brand, her motherhood, her public image all revolve around the phrase a mother to a prince and princess. Without it, she becomes just Meghan, mom of two from Montecito. Behind the scenes, assistants say this has sent her into panic mode again. She reportedly called the move an attack on her children. But Parliament isn't backing down. Their response, it's not punishment, it's policy. Then comes the night the world never expected. London, quiet, cold, and still. At midnight, the royal website updates. Two names vanish. No press release, no ceremony, no warning. Just gone. The titles Duke and Duchess of Sussex are erased. Parliament's motion passes without fanfare, and Buckingham doesn't deny it. For Harry and Meghan, it's the end of their royal story. Titles gone, brand weakened, the fairy tale fading into tabloid ink. For King Charles, it's a bittersweet relief, his reign finally moving forward, though at a cost only a father could feel. And for Prince William, it's victory. Not loud, not boastful, but symbolic. He did what many said couldn't be done. He saved the crown from itself. And as dawn breaks over Westminster, one question hangs in the golden morning light. If Parliament and the future king can rewrite the royal family once,